The truth finally leaked. Zac Taylor met with the media on Tuesday to discuss the details of the first preseason game this week. We're going to break down what he had to say about the starters, how much playtime they'll have, along with a few other updates concerning injuries and much more. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. So happy to see all you Bengals fans. We are here. It is preseason week. We get to see the first action for the Bengals coming up on this 2025 season. If you want to be up to date on the breaking news, share in on the community, smash that subscribe button if you have not already. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers. We thank each one of you so much. We love hearing your thoughts on what you think of the Bengals this offseason, and it's only going to continue as we progress to week 1 of the season. So Zac Taylor met with the media on Tuesday. It was great to hear his feedback. There was a lot of good questions brought up concerning this team, the different updates on what his plan will be for this preseason game. It's early, right? We're not going to base everything on this one game, but we're very anxious to see what they're going to look like. And concerning that is how much of the starters are going to play. The narrative around this Bengals team is going to be, will the defense get better? Is the offensive line going to be able to protect Joe Burrow and give him enough time that he can make plays when he needs to? And the third is going to be, can they start fast? We're going to hear that narrative until it is finally put to rest. They can do that with the preseason. One thing that Zac Taylor has done is rest his starters in the preseason. I don't oppose that plan of attack. That's actually a good strategy. Keep your starters as fresh as possible. But it is a long season. Those games aren't going to make or break you necessarily. And honestly, if you go back those last few years that they have come out the gate slow, sluggish, and rusty, you can tell it could be due to the preseason. So this was encouraging to see when he met on Tuesday. He was saying how the starters are going to be playing on Thursday night. In seasons past, they weren't even playing in that first preseason game. It wasn't really until the last preseason before week 1 that you would start to see them. Again, if it works, that's great. I'm not opposed to that strategy. I get the reasoning on it, but you got to break the mold. You got to try something different because in all the seasons outside of that Super Bowl year, they have been 0-2. They've come out of the gate slow. They have not been able to convert on that. This is what he had to go on to say, though. I found this very interesting. He said, we don't have this targeted for our biggest play time for all of our guys. We really picked Washington on August 18th to be able to do that. Another thing, I hate to put it in stone, a couple series, several series. Several series is what will give those starters. So he's actually coming out and saying, I'm going to give at least a few series. Nothing promised, nothing guaranteed. As he says, he didn't want to put anything in stone. He didn't want to come out and guarantee you're going to see these guys playing for a full quarter. Even mentioned it might even go into the second quarter if you're talking a series goes on. So that's interesting to see that he's not wanting to overpromise, but he is acknowledging, yes, these guys are going to be out there playing. I'm all for it. Let's get that rust knocked off from the offseason. I certainly don't want them out there risking injury. That's the other thing of why these guys are not usually out there in the preseason. That's been the strategy. But at the same time, going back to you got to try something different. You got to get those guys out there. As much as Joe Burrow has been in the league with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all those guys on offense, they know each other well. You still got to get back in the rhythm of things. So that's encouraging to see Zac Taylor acknowledging that. They've been talking about it in a lot of interviews of, we got to start fast. We got to start fast. That's what you want to hear, because it seemed like it was just, no, that's not a big deal. They kind of brushed it to the side. Well, unfortunately, it took last year to kind of show those games matter. Yes, it's not the end of the season. If you come out and you lose the first game, it's not ideal, but it's not going to damage your whole season. But you should still treat it as important. You know, go back to week 1. I hate to keep bringing it up. Patriots. That was a winnable game, and here we are. They lost that game, losing out on the playoffs by that one game. There's many other things we can point to. Obviously, that wasn't the only reason they missed the playoffs, but you know, it's very easy to look at how important they need to view coming out the gate. And he went on further also to state as well why this is important. I appreciated his thoughts on this. He said, going on the road like we are week 1, we do have a road primetime game early in the season. Lights are on in the road environment. That's great. As much as we practice it and do it, it's not the same feel. So I think just those 11 guys being in the huddle on both sides of the ball and all the communication, that's got to occur. It's just a good opportunity for those guys to get some additional reps. Love this. This is exactly the mentality they need to have. Yes, they can practice to no end. Yes, you can go through the reps, whatever you need to, be on the sideline, see it happening in preseason, but actually on the field, actually getting your reps, it's going to make a difference. Especially that last preseason game. I'm really anxious to see how much playing time then. We'll obviously get to that time. This is all about preseason game 1, just kind of maybe dipping their toes in the water to get a feel, but they need to pick the momentum up, pick up the urgency, get that going as the week's going on. And it seems like that's Zac Taylor's mentality, so that's great to see. As much as he was talking also about that fast start, about making sure that the starters are going to be in preseason, he did bring up a few injuries. One thing to note is Mike Gesicki will not be playing in this preseason game. And I'm all for that because it seems like it's kind of getting downplayed. It's not a big deal. I'm going to take their word and just hope that's the case. So why risk it? Why put him in the preseason game? What's interesting to note is he won't be playing. And just recently, the big signing was Noah Fant. He is going to be a backup, obviously, to Mike Gesicki, but this is a great opportunity for him to get those reps. But Zac Taylor did go on to say that actually he will not be playing as well. So the reasoning on that is he's still getting used to the playbook. They kind of want to ease him in. He was saying that that second game, that's going to be against the Commanders on August 18th. It's a Monday game, 8 p.m. That is when we're going to be able to see his first action as a tight end for the Bengals. Probably backing up still Mike Gesicki if he is coming back from that injury. But if this injury, let's hope not, is still there, he could be the starter come preseason game 2. Another thing to note is that Marius Mims, who has been kind of on that injury watch as well, he was said to be one that's going to be playing as well. So that'd be interesting to see because they have Marius Mims, and then in replacement for him, while he's been not practicing, has been Jalen Rivers. He was drafted in the 5th round out of Miami. So a lot of pressure is going to be on some rookies. You also have Dylan Fairchild that could be starting at left guard. He's in that competition. Zac Taylor also acknowledged. But it'll be good to see Marius Mims. I want him to grow. He showed a lot of flashes last year as a rookie. Going into this year, he's got to step up. Got to be those anchors on the left and right side. You have Orlando Brown Jr. holding down the left side. I'm really excited to see what Amarius Mims can do on the right side, along with the rest of the line. Because again, that's another big question mark. Start out fast, and what is this offensive line going to do? So great updates. Hearing from Zac Taylor, it's got us excited. We are already in preseason week. We want to hear from you guys. What are you guys excited about? And coming up on this preseason game, anything of note, certain players that you're going to be keeping an eye on? Did you like the comments coming from Zac Taylor and acknowledging they need to get those starters out on the preseason and work towards that fast start for the 2025 season? We want to hear from you. Comment below. And again, if you have not subscribed already, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers. I think we can get there before week 1. So let's make it happen, Bengals fans. So that's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, Uday.